Hey Richie, let's take a look at your week 1 assignment 3 drawing. Just try as best you can to remember to label your attachments appropriately. Um, Really, as far as I'm concerned, it's just the last name that needs to be on there first, and then you can label it whatever. Just helps me with filing things a little bit easier. This assignment looks good, very good actually. I think you've got done a nice job of dealing with some pretty complicated shape arrangements. You've got a few that create some pretty tight spaces. I really like the one on the bottom side to side where you have the two circles right next to each other, and the color scheme seems a little muted, but it all kind of works together. I'm not sure if that was purposeful or not, but everything has kind of a ties together really nicely. Very much kind of like an autumn feel to it. So what are we looking for here? What are we kind of trying to get out of this assignment? So for me, the big thing I'm looking for is that you're maintaining your technique that we just started to kind of look at in the last assignment. So here I think we have that in place. I think still seeing a little bit of bleeding within the shape of the blind, where a lot of the strokes are starting to melt together, but I think we're getting a good idea of how you're working with the marker in terms of the blind, and I can see the direction that the stroke is going, and I can see that it's very, very consistent. I can also see that you're cutting edges, and you're doing that for both the side to side and with the blind. The side to side looks very good, very even and consistent coverage for the most part. There's a few that we can see kind of the outline from the cut being made, and you might need to go in and saturate a little bit more as you get closer to the edge, so that it gets just gets a little darker to match the inside, which we're seeing on the gray in a couple of places where it's a lot lighter on the outside than it is on the inside. But I'd say for the most part they all feel very good in terms of the technique that's being used and the consistency of their fills. Also looking at edge quality, which is a concern for this assignment. As things get more complicated, you're going to need to manage how you're dealing with the edges of these shapes so that they maintain their stability or their symmetry. And here again, I think you did a really nice job of getting nice, clean, sharp edges. For the most part, there's a little kind of wobbliness, but that's fine. Circles look terrific. You're doing a great job of just kind of maintaining that nice round curve. They're all very symmetrical, and they really stand out in terms of the level of difficulty that they kind of have, and how you've done such a good job of dealing with them. And then the rest of it is just kind of following directions. You've got two color ones, you've got two grayscale, you've got two blind, and you've got two side to side. They have the appropriate amount of shapes, and they're all overlapping. So I think you did a really nice job of this. It's definitely a step up from the last assignment in terms of its complexity and how things are being, arranged and managed. And I thought you did just as solid of a job as you did the last assignment of dealing with the techniques, and more so because this is a much more complicated version of that. So all I can say is to just keep an eye on a couple of those things that we mentioned, and to just keep it up, and that you're doing a great job.